Lamar Jackson's new approach, focusing on growth over Super Bowl dreams. Lamar Jackson is taking a fresh perspective this season, stating, "I'm not really trying to think about the Super Bowl yet." This statement might surprise many fans who expect the Ravens quarterback to be laser-focused on the ultimate goal of winning a championship. At 28 years old, Jackson is entering his 8th season in the NFL, and he's approaching training camp with a sense of wisdom that comes from experience. In previous years, Jackson has shown up to camp with varying weights. He was heavier at 25 and lighter at 27. Now, he emphasizes a more holistic approach, saying, "I'm really just getting started for real." This year, however, he's consciously choosing to shift his focus away from the Super Bowl, which has been a long-standing goal since he was drafted. Jackson explained, "To be honest, I'm really not trying to think that far. Because every time we have those discussions, man, we get to playoffs, but we don't punch in. We don't finish. So I'm pretty much just trying to finish camp the correct way and then get ready for the Bills. I'm not really trying to think about the Super Bowl yet." This candid admission reveals a strategic mindset. Rather than fixating on the end goal, he's concentrating on the process and the immediate challenges ahead. In his quest for improvement, Jackson has taken a deep dive into his performance from the previous season. He reviewed last year's games, scrutinizing every mistake, and concluded that he performed adequately, stating, "I did eat last season." In 2024, he made headlines by passing for over 4,000 yards and rushing for more than 900 yards, finishing second in the MVP voting while outpacing Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen in nearly every statistical category. While Jackson claims he's not concerned about the MVP title, he is committed to being the best version of himself. He believes there's still more to achieve, saying, "I'm only 28. I'm really just getting started for real." This statement reflects his ambition and determination to continue evolving as a player. Mark Andrews, the tight end who has been one of Jackson's favorite targets, humorously remarked that he expects Jackson to reach his peak in 10 years. Coach John Harbaugh, however, takes a more serious tone, noting that there is still significant room for Jackson to grow, despite the impressive career he's already built. Harbaugh pointed out, "Lamar's young. I mean, he's in his 8th year, yet he's only 28 years old. I think that's pretty rare, so his window to improve is really big." One of the key reasons Harbaugh has confidence in Jackson is his relentless pursuit of improvement. Jackson has analyzed his own game, acknowledging the 4 interceptions he threw last season, and expressing a desire to improve his ball security. He has also communicated with wide receiver Zay Flowers about the importance of holding more meetings to enhance team chemistry. As training camp kicks off, Jackson is experimenting with different types of passes and looks, even if it means deviating from the game plan set by offensive coordinator Todd Monken. He candidly shared, "Coach Monk probably gets on me a little bit because he wants me to throw the ball certain places. But I'm like, sometimes in the game, it might not happen the way it is in practice. So I pretty much just try to hit passes that I normally might not get in the game, looks that I might not get in the game, and I try everything." Despite occasionally straying from the plan, Jackson feels he has developed a strong understanding of Monken's expectations as they enter their 3rd year working together. This growing chemistry could be a significant factor in Jackson's potential for further improvement in what has already been a historic career. With his own development and the progress of his teammates, Jackson is optimistic about the upcoming season, even as he remains focused on the present. "I say that every year, though," he admitted. "But yeah, I mean, we've got a great group of guys. Great wide receiving core, great running backs, great tight ends, a great offensive line. We've got the same guys back, probably one guy missing out the O-line. Defense looking incredible as always. We're looking great on paper, like I said, but we're going to see when the time comes." This approach raises an interesting question. Is it better for athletes to focus on the journey rather than the destination? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Lamar Jackson playing for Immortality. NFL quarterback rankings. Lamar Jackson is on a quest for greatness, and according to ESPN's Mike Greenberg, he's not just playing for wins. He's aiming for a legacy that will echo through history. After an extraordinary season that many consider one of the best ever for a quarterback, Jackson was asked during training camp if he believes he can elevate his game even further. His response was confident. Yes, I'm only 28. I'm really just getting started. For real. Despite being a two-time MVP, the one accolade that remains elusive for Jackson is a Super Bowl title. Greenberg pointed out that once Jackson secures that championship, the narrative surrounding his career will shift dramatically. For Lamar and Josh Allen, what they're playing for is immortality, Greenberg stated on the show Get Up. He elaborated that both quarterbacks could hang up their cleats today and still be Hall of Famers, but winning a Super Bowl would catapult Jackson into discussions about his ranking among the all-time greats. 2 regular season MVPs and a Super Bowl starts that conversation, he added, emphasizing the significance of that elusive title. Interestingly, Jackson himself seems less focused on personal accolades and more on team success. As sports journalist Kimberly A. Martin noted, I think anything short of winning a Super Bowl for Lamar is going to be seen by him as a disappointment. As an individual, he's already cemented what his legacy is. He can only add to it. I think for him, it is the team aspect. This perspective aligns with Jackson's own words, as he reiterated that he feels he's just beginning his journey. For context, it's worth noting that Peyton Manning clinched his first Super Bowl just before turning 31, while John Elway achieved the same feat at 37. In another discussion, ESPN analyst Mina Kimes was posed the question about which quarterback she would trust most if she were to build a team from scratch, comparing Jackson, Allen, and Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals. While acknowledging that the Ravens have fewer weaknesses than many teams, Kimes still placed her faith in Jackson. When I watch Lamar Jackson and I watch this Ravens offense, I see a system, a scheme where Lamar is the sun that creates the gravity that it all rotates around. She explained, on First Take, she pointed out that it's no coincidence that Derrick Henry, who had a rough season at 31, rebounded to have a stellar year after teaming up with Jackson. His effect on the football field is undeniable. If I was building a team from scratch and I had to take a guy who I think could do the most with the least, it would be Lamar. Kimes also weighed in on the debate about who the best player in the NFL is, regardless of position, during her appearance on ESPN's This Is Football podcast with Kevin Clark. She mentioned that the top contenders are Jackson, Allen, and Myles Garrett, the edge rusher for the Cleveland Browns. Clark went so far as to say that Jackson and Garrett belong in a league of their own, stating what Lamar Jackson does to defenders makes a professional look like an amateur. On the training camp front, 2 players who were previously seen as on the roster bubble have made a strong impression, according to The Athletic's Jeff Zrebiec. Outside linebacker David Ojabo and cornerback Jalen Armour Davis have both shown promise during the initial days of training camp. Zrebiec reported that Ojabo disrupted a pass during practice and has been a challenge for starting right tackle Roger Rosengarten. Meanwhile, Armour Davis recorded 2 pass breakups, one of which lent him to tumble through a makeshift fence designed to keep fans and reporters at a safe distance from the field. Both Ojabo and Armour Davis, drafted by the Ravens in 2022, have faced injury setbacks, but have demonstrated their potential when healthy. When asked about Ojabo, head coach John Harbaugh expressed optimism about his performance in camp, stating, I think David being on the field consistently will be the key. He didn't play at all his first year. Last year, he got a little bit nicked up. I think he's healthy, stronger than he has ever been. He looks great out here the first 2 days of training camp. I expect him to play grit. As the Ravens gear up for the upcoming season, their offense appears poised to be among the league's elite once again. For those interested, a detailed look at all 42 of the team's current offensive players is available. Additionally, the Ravens defense is looking to bounce back from a less than stellar 2024 season. And insights into the current roster of defenders can also be found. Lamar Jackson's journey, focused on now amid high expectations. As the Baltimore Ravens kick off another season of sky-high expectations, one question looms larger than ever. Can Lamar Jackson finally lead his team to postseason glory? The 2-time league MVP is no stranger to the spotlight, but this year feels different. Fresh off arguably his best NFL season, 41 touchdowns, nearly 4,200 passing yards, and a staggering 915 rushing yards. Jackson is under the microscope like never before. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite his regular season dominance, Jackson's playoff record remains a sticking point. The Ravens are just 3-5 in postseason games he's started, and his 11 turnovers in those contests have critics questioning whether he can truly deliver when it matters most. Is this the year he silences the doubters? Or will the narrative persist? Jackson himself isn't looking that far ahead. "I'm starting here. I'm starting with camp," he said, emphasizing the importance of building chemistry with his teammates, including new wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. But let's be real. The Week 1 rematch against the Buffalo Bills is already on everyone's mind. Can Jackson avenge last season's heartbreaking 27-25 divisional round loss? And this is the part most people miss. Jackson's humility. At just 28, he admits, "I'm really just getting started." A bold statement from a player already among the league's elite. Meanwhile, veteran linebacker Roquan Smith is poised to anchor a defense that's being called the most talented in his career. After an uneven 2024 season, Smith focused on nutrition and recovery, aiming to return to his all-pro form. But with the addition of rookie safety Malaki Starks, pass rusher Mike Green, and veteran cornerback Jair Alexander, the defense is loaded. Speaking of Alexander, his first practice was a showstopper. Breaking up passes and showcasing his trademark seatbelt celebration, he's already proving why the Ravens signed him. Yet, the day's biggest moment belonged to Zay Flowers, who turned a short catch into a long touchdown, only to later limp off the field, sparking concern. Thankfully, he returned to make more catches, but it's a reminder of how quickly fortunes can shift in the NFL. And let's not forget the kicking competition, where rookie Tyler Loop went perfect on 6 attempts, outshining undrafted John Hoyland. But here's the real question. With all this talent, can the Ravens finally finish what they've started? Regular season success is one thing, but the postseason is another beast entirely. Jackson knows it, Smith knows it, and the entire organization knows it. "We're getting there, but we're not finishing," Jackson admitted. "How can we get better? How can we make the city even more happy?" Those are the questions haunting the Ravens as they begin this journey. So, what do you think? Can Lamar Jackson and the Ravens finally break through, or will the postseason struggles continue? Let's hear your take in the comments. This debate is far from over.